Coach, generally, I guess, what have you seen from TCU? It seems like they're kind of almost on that same streak that they were last year. They lost Fisher, and now it seems like Alex Robinson's kind of leading that team now.
Yeah, TCU's arguably the best offensive team in the Big 12. It starts with just their players. Multiple guys that can shoot the three-point shot, several guys that can use the ball screen. Then Robinson's just really good with it. He's almost like a Euro League point guard right now with the way he can read and kind of control the game with the ball screen. Then they got great, inside play, basically two all-conference players with their forwards. And then maybe the best rebounder in the league. So just really good talent is what I see more than anything.
In terms of Kenrich, I know you're talking about him with the rebounding. I guess what have you seen from him? It seems like a guy that kind of you guys would love to have, a guy that's very versatile, kind of fills up the stat sheet.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Williams. He's a junior college transfer. Or as you guys know, I got my start coaching in junior college and always have respect for those players. And he's really improved in his time at TCU. I think he was a 3-year guy, 1 year JUCO, 3 years, and he's basically just came into the league kind of as a putback guy. Now he's a legitimate, all-conference player. I know he is on my ballot. He shoots the three. He handles the ball. He's got a great assist-to-turnover ratio, and he really rebounds. That's his special gift. So he's one of the best players in the Big 12.
No, last night was emotional, so I guess what do you have to do as a coaching staff to kind of keep the guys kind of tempered, knowing that you got another Big 12 game, and not only that, but on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I same old story, but just that's just life in the Big 12. You can't get too high or too low. I think Shaka's deal is respond. How are you going to respond to situations? And, I like that. We've got the 12-hour rule around here. We'll kind of beat ourselves up and after a loss for 12 hours, and then we got to move on. Same thing after you're fortunate enough to get a win. You can enjoy it for a few hours, then you got to get right back to work. So, I've said consistently that I don't think the Big 12 conference really starts until February, the race, and so here we are. Everybody's 0-0 now. Everybody's in, so most of us are in pretty good position. Some of us got a little bit of catching up to do, but there's a lot of basketball left. Like TCU, they lost 2 overtime games in a row where they could have easily won the game, basically one-possession games. And then since then, I think they've won 3 out of 4, maybe 4 straight. So they're one of the best teams in our conference, and they're one of the hottest teams in the country right now.
We'll go to Will in the front.
Noy and Bain, 1 and 12, both those guys knocked down a ton of threes. Just what do you see out of those guys and what they've been doing for them?
Yeah, they got a lot of three-point shooters on the roster. Basically they don't play anybody that doesn't shoot the three. And so, Robinson can beat you with the passing and scoring himself. So they just do a great job spreading the floor. So you got to kind of pick your poison. If you're going to protect the paint, you're probably going to give some threes up. But if you're going to try to take away the three-point shot, then you're going to give them some drives to the basket. So I think one thing safe to say is you got to be willing to kind of change defenses. I don't think you can just play TCU one way. Their coach is too good and their players are too talented.
Something else I wanted to ask you about, just because I hadn't had a chance to and saw him in warm-ups last night. C.J. Roberts is a guy you guys added as a transfer from Mizzou. What was it stuck out about C.J.? And I know you guys are going to get him next fall, but what was it stuck out about him?
Yeah, I think above all, we're just in the business of recruiting talented players. And C.J. fits that mold. He's a 4-star recruit. Could have gone to a lot of schools. Went to Missouri, signed with Coach Anderson, Steve Shields, and those guys, and they had a coaching change. And sometimes in coaching changes, as we know, being on both sides of them, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So C.J. was looking for a new opportunity, and we had recruited him a little bit in high school. We knew his high school coach. We knew his AAU coaches, and so just seemed to be a good fit for us to add another talented perimeter player with Keenan and Naeem and these guys graduating. And I think it was a good fit for CJ to come back to Texas, where he's from, and have a chance to play in the best conference in basketball.
We'll go to Jeff in the middle.
How the guys bounce back from the late night yesterday for practice today?
Oh, they're fine. Yeah, these guys don't go to bed till X amount of time anyway. It doesn't matter what time the game is.
When you look at you mentioned that TCU's got the best offense, or possibly the best offense in the Big 12. How would you compare their defense to the rest of the league?
I think it's getting better. I think Coach Dixon's really challenged them. They didn't play their best defense in that SEC Challenge game. That's just not my opinion. That's what their coaches said. They really challenged them. And then last time out when they won on the road at Oklahoma State, that was the best defense I'd seen them play. So Coach Dixon's teams are always known for defense. When he was at Pitt, last year's TCU team could guard. I think, you got to be careful saying they're not. When somebody's really good on offense, then a lot of times you just kind of take their defense for granted. I think here we get some credit with our defense, which is well deserved, but we played some pretty good offense too. So I think TCU is a well-balanced team. I think that's just a good coach kind of challenging his players kind of through the media to get them to guard a little bit better. But I think they've been guarding pretty good all year long.
Anything else for Coach? We'll go back to Carlos.
I know I asked Parker, but when was the last time you had a game winner like that? That was just that kind of at the last second, just that emotional.
Oh, I couldn't remember, Carlos. Josh Hagens hit a big one in San Marcos, Texas. Josh hit a big one in the NCAA tournament against Purdue. Anthony Livingston hit a big one here against West Virginia. We've had a few. I can tell you a couple that didn't go our way too, so I don't want to really think about those.
And then I know you obviously offered some gifts, I guess, to some students that weren't able to go. I guess what were some of the gifts you did, and I guess what was that like just to kind of meet with some of them today?
Yeah, so that was a pretty cool experience. We, as we build the program, this is year 2. A lot of this is just educating people. Like I really thought we did a pretty good job starting this summer, and we're continuing to do it to educate our season ticket holders how important it is when they can't come to the games to give those seats to somebody. And I think they've really responded. The percentage in seats filled per season ticket holder is way up this year. So it's obvious to me that that people, when they can't come to the games, which is understandable, they just take that extra effort to give your tickets to somebody. So, but it was kind of an education process. We had to ask people for help. Now it's really the same thing with our students. As our team gets better and everybody wants to start coming to the games, there's a process where you got to get to the games early. You got to get your tickets. You got to figure out where to park. And so last night, we felt bad for some of the students that just couldn't get in. So I met with some of those today, and basically lunch was on me, and we gave them a car wash coupon and a gift certificate somewhere. But more than anything, just educated them, like, hey, here's how you get your tickets. This is what doors you come in. The gym opens 90 minutes before the game, and this kind of thing.
No, Malik didn't play. Was it a schematic thing? Was it injury? Or
No, he just one of those games. Like Tommy was playing great in Norris, and no foul trouble in that spot early. Looking back, I wish I would have played Malik. Players make mistakes all the time, right? You miss a block out, you miss an assignment. So do coaches. Ain't nobody perfect. So I have things every game that I wish I would have done different, but that's life.
And last question for me. I guess Davide, I know he only played 6 minutes, but it seemed like you kind of brought him in when you needed a ball handler, and it seemed like he played pretty well. Do you feel like that's a short way to kind of get his confidence built, just getting the ball handling going, and then maybe the shooting will get there?
Yeah, I'll be really clear here. I have a lot of confidence in Morrow. That's why we play him in every game. I just believe in his jump shot. I believe in everything he does. He's had a couple little tough games here, but he's playing the best defense he's played since he's been here. He's shooting the ball great in practice. So, to me, my confidence has never wavered. Sometimes as players, I don't know, but I think when your coaching staff has confidence in you and you're a really good player like Morrow is, I'm confident that he's confident. In last night's game, Josh Webster is deserving of more minutes. He did a great job in this game. That cuts into some people's minutes. But, at this time of year when you're playing on a good team, which we are, we're a work in progress, but I do think it's safe to say that we're a good team. It's a team sport. Some nights it's going to be your night. Some nights you're going to have to cheer for the guy next to you. And that's really what team sports is. And it's really an identity of our team. Last night we don't win this game if Josh doesn't make the great pass, if Justin doesn't make a couple tough blockouts, playing out of position. Justin is, now that Zach's hurt. Tommy's really waited his time. And now he's playing great. So, I look for Naeem to get back on track here. I look for Morrow to help us. But we're really a team. I have no plan to try to win a game where everybody doesn't contribute. And so I remain confident in all these players.
We'll go to Will to wrap it up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you more about Josh and how you felt like his minutes have worked out. Seems like he just keeps playing better and better the more you play him.
Yeah, always a transition, coming from junior college to this level. And I think Josh it's nothing that he's really done wrong. He's just had to kind of wait his time. I've been so impressed with his discipline. He's continued to work out every day on game nights where he doesn't get a lot of minutes, he works out a lot the next day. He works on off days. He stayed committed to being in the film room, even though sometimes he's not watching himself. He's watching Keenan or somebody else, and he's just really got his confidence back up. So I'm proud of him, and he's really been helping our team. He's extra ball handler, maybe the best passer in our program. He's a long, athletic guy that can play defense. I thought he made some big plays last night. I look for Josh to help us as the season continues.